Hello and
I,
welcome. Welcome. It's my great pleasure today to be able to introduce Menpa Namgyal Qusar and Menpa Qusar to you. And we're here to talk with them today about their experiences as Menpa. And currently they work in a clinic, which they have outside of Dharamsala called the Qusar Healing Clinic. So hello to you both. Thank you so much for coming here and being available tonight. I know that this is, Gen Qusar was telling me that his only day off is on Wednesdays. So this is very kind of you to make yourself available for us. And it's actually a particular great pleasure and surprise to have Menpa Qusar joining us today. So I would like to first ask you both, starting with you, Menpa Namgyal Qusar, please to tell me a little bit about your early life, where you were born and how you grew up.
First of all, Anasuya, thank you very much for bringing this program, and also Tashidele to all the viewers, especially since this is a a program for our young Tibetans. We are so happy to do that. Actually, I was born in Tibet in 1960. I was just a few months old baby when my parents escaped from Tibet in 1960 because our family crossed Tibet from the Himachal Pradesh, the state where I live now. We came via Kinnaur side and then to Simla side, and we have Tibetan schools all over India. In the beginning, there was a school in Simla. It was known as a Central School for Tibetans in Simla.
Mm-hmm.
Government of India established that school for especially for us Tibetan refugees in the beginning. It's still there. So after 4 years, my parents admitted in that school, in that Tibetan school. So and whereas in the beginning my parents lived in Simla as a in the road construction as a laborer, and I remember during my childhood I was on the roadside as a young boy because the parents were labor on the roadside and in the construction work. So I remember many times that I was on the roadside, tied on the rope and then just hanging myself all the time like that. But then after 4 years, when my parents had no choice than to put me in school, in the residential school, then I joined that school, and my childhood started. My education started in that Tibetan school, where we where we studied Tibetan language, English language, and Indian Hindi language, and then different subjects. As you know, all kinds of subjects. Gradually, we had to study many subjects as we grow older and go to the highest classes. Then I went to different schools after that and graduated from finally from my school in from Darjeeling school. That too was a residential school. My parents moved to southern India where we have biggest Tibetan settlements, because government of India allotted us land to settle over there in the southern India in the state of Karnataka. And I was also sent down to Karnataka because there we also had a special Tibetan school, day school, and we had to join our parents and to be in that school as a day scholar at the time. And after I finished my school from that school in Mungaon, that is called as Mungaon, I joined Darjeeling School to finish my schooling. And after that, yeah, I joined the university in Delhi, and then all of a sudden I got an opportunity to join Tibetan medicine studies in Dharamsala.
Let me back up a little bit. What part of Tibet were you born in?
I was born in a place called Shangse, This falls in western Tibet, near Tuling and Kuge province.
Okay. And did you have siblings?
Yes, yes, I'm the youngest of all. I have three elder brothers
And
and two elder sisters, and one of my elder sister expired when we were in school, and now we have four brothers and one elder sister.
so you were the youngest of
Yes, yes, yeah,
6 or 7?
uh, yeah. Among six, I'm the youngest. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Um, and Menpa Qusar, could you tell us a little bit about your early life, where you were born and
Hello, Rashidile. I was born in Sikkim in India, and 1 month my parents they all shipped in South India, where one of the biggest Tibetan settlement called Bailakopi, the Sera Monastery, where the biggest Tibetan monastery is there. And I did my schooling, and I was brought up in South India, and I did my schooling in South India. And after that, I got chance to study Tibetan medicine in Menzies in Dharamsala.
So we studied together in 1982. Started our study together in 1982.
oh, that's
We were
so
sent
Yeah, from the same batch.
in the same batch. In which
Yeah,
school were
we
you?
met in that time. Yeah,
You met where?
in Dharamsala in 1982.
In
We studied together. Since that time we were together.
Oh, that's so nice. That that's so great. And now you're working together.
Yes, yes.
Um, Menpa Culture, did you come from a large family?
no, not big family. We have only two sisters. I'm the elder one.
And you're the elder of two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you could each tell me what made you decide to study Tibetan medicine? Menpa
Uh,
Tangye?
may I start with this? Yeah, see, first of all, right from the beginning, when we were in the school, you know, we have this school especially for Tibetans. So we, as a Tibetan, has to preserve and promote our rich culture, rich language. So often our teachers in our school, encourage us and guide us to put more interest in our Tibetan language and Tibetan Buddhism and all kinds of cultures. So I got interested in studying different culture, especially my Tibetan language is better than English because of my mother tongue. So I put also my emphasis on learning more on Tibetan language.
Mm-hmm.
But then my connection with Tibetan medicine started when I was in Delhi University because in 1981, in the beginning of 81, uh, they have opened a new admission for new students joining Menzies. And one of my friends told me that it's available, so I applied for that. And from Menzies administration, they immediately accepted my application. And that made me, that was a very good coincidence because I had a big interest in learning of something of Tibetan culture. And then when the class will be opening the next year, so they gave me the chance as well. So that was very good, positive changes in my life. And then immediately came to Dharamsala to explore my possibility to start my learning. And then when I came to Dharamsala, I went to see Lady Doctor, very famous Lady Doctor Lobsang Dolma Khankar, and she accepted me as her assistant, as a secretary, as a student. So before joining Mensi Khan, I started my Tibetan medicine learning from Dr. Dolma. So since that time, yes, I mean on Tibetan medicine.
Oh, that's very interesting. A couple of things
Yeah,
strike me about
that's
that.
all.
First, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty difficult for Tibetan students to get into New Delhi University. Is that not?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But that's not so. First of all, during our time, it was not easy to get scholarship, and I got a scholarship. The subject that we chose was not that interesting, and moreover, it's too expensive. First of all, to be in Delhi,
I
and
see.
as a refugee student, and the family was not able to support completely in my study. We faced a lot of hardships.
Yeah.
So moreover, we found much scope. We don't find much scope in study in this kind of normal study in the university. So then I joined Mensikang, which was really rewarding for me.
Did you have any experience with Tibetan medicine before that? Like any personal experience or experience with your family?
Yeah, when I was student in Darjeeling, I used to visit Tibetan doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Often as a student, because many of our Tibetans, as a young Tibetans, we often have many of our Tibetans suffer from tuberculosis.
Oh, okay.
So often I also feel like I get a lot of frequent cough and throughout of Putin. So I often go to Tibetan doctors than to Western doctors. So in Darjeeling, when I was in Darjeeling, I often go to visit a Tibetan doctor in the clinic, and she prescribes me some medicine. And I also visited South India, where Tibetan doctor Dr. Hawang was there at the time before I joined Mensikang. He prescribed me quite many different medicines for 3 weeks, and it all worked like a wonder.
Ah,
So that was also my connection with Tibetan medicine before I really joined uh, Tibetan medicine school in Dharamsala.
I see. So that gave you like more faith in
Yeah, definitely.
medicine. Yeah.
Because not only that, our parents often have more faith in Tibetan medicine and our traditional medicine than Western medicine in the general belief.
Okay. Thank you. And Menpa Culture Kusar, how did you decide to study medicine?
So I love to work with the plant, flower, trees since my childhood. When I was young, and my mother used to get sick, and at that time in our Tibetan colony, we don't have a Tibetan medical center, and there's only Westerner doctors. And she took a lot of she took a lot of Western medicine from the different doctors, and they said she had to do the operation. So once, when His Holiness Dalai Lama doctor came to our village for medical tour, and then my mother got a medicine from him, and she took a nearly 6 months medicine, Tibetan medicine, and she was completely cured. And so since then, I got a lot of faith in Tibetan medicine, and I got an interest in Tibetan medicine. And this is my both parents' biggest wishes to become a Tibetan doctor. For me to become a Tibetan doctor. So I got an interest, and I came in 1982. I came to Mexico. I studied with my husband in Mexico, and since then we are practicing together.
But that's so nice. So what was it? Uh, what what did your mother have? Why were they going to do surgery?
She has a gastrointestinal problem, and
Mm.
also she got a big problem, and they said that she had to do the operation. At that time, we don't have a good facility in South India. There's not many big hospitals, no Minsipang. Our parents just came to South India and they were surgery. And it was in the beginning of middle of 60s.
I
I
see.
was very young at that time. I always
Um,
see my mother sick and very poor and weak. I couldn't help her anything.
You see, Anasuya, as you know, Pekin Mukpo,
yep.
Pekin Mukpo means a chronic Pekin disorder,
Mhm.
phlegmatic disorder. And often in our Tibetan community, during our early refugee times in India, our elders used to say that if you suffer from this complicated Mopo disorder, which means a gastrointestinal disorder, you have to prepare yourself for your death. So therefore, there was a kind of a big fear among Tibetan community in the early times, because the facilities around our community was very poor. The hospitals was too poor. We don't have a good proper primary healthcare centers, and the peripheral clinics and hospitals were also not so well furnished. So therefore, when her mother got better with that Tibetan medicine given by our senior physician of His Holiness, since that time she never had that kind of complication, and she was never afraid of future complications due to gastrointestinal disorders.
So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because this brings me to what you might think the differences between allopathic and Tibetan medicine are, and where, how you might see Tibetan medicine being useful for people these days.
Differences and use differences. What can you repeat your question again?
Yes.
Because it was.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How do you see Soa Rigpa being different from allopathic medicine, Western medicine?
Yeah, there are many differences, but to put me precisely, the main differences is that our Tibetan medicine sees that mind and body plays the role together. We cannot neglect the mind and we cannot neglect the body. They're all together very important. They play a vital role together, because we believe in Tibetan medicine that since we are existing not because we have a good, beautiful, and strong physical body. We are existing because our mind is so important together with our physical body. But therefore, the basic differences between Tibetan medicine and Western medicine, from my opinion, is that in Tibetan medicine, mind and the body plays the role together. And now, in these days, as we all know in our experiences, that Tibetan medicine really has its strength in treating chronic disorders. Often in our practice, like here in our Qusar Tibetan Healing Center, we got a lot of many Indian patients calling us all the time, not just from the local area, but from the very different places in India, from all over India. They are seeking Tibetan medicine, some kind of miracle cure or some without help. And most of our Indian patients are so happy because it really works. Because the basic feature of our Tibetan medicine is that we treat the patient as an individual patient. We have to give medicine or whatever medicine or the diet or any other physical therapies we give that based on the patient's individual constitution, patient's emotional level, and in the mental, uh, you know, strength. So we try to give kind of a positive outlook and give kind of a positive approach in healing the patient, and it really works. So like that, there are many differences, and there are also many similarities as well with Tibetan and Western medicine.
And do you see Tibetan medicine and allopathic medicine being able to work together in some
Yeah,
way?
why not?
I don't mean necessarily in terms of having, taking both the medicines at the same time, but how they may address different things for people.
Yeah. See, from disease point of view, here in Dharamsala, often many of our Tibetans, as I told you before, they suffer from tuberculosis.
Mm-hmm.
And tuberculosis, we all know that Western antibiotic must be given, and they take Western antibiotics to treat tuberculosis, and whereas Tibetan medicine has not much to offer to treat tuberculosis. But the complications because of those antibiotics to treat tuberculosis has a kind of a bad side effect on the liver. So for that liver, to back up the liver function, to tonify the liver, and to clean the body system. Often these patients takes Tibetan medicine, and therefore they recover very well. So we can integrate Tibetan medicine as well as Western medicine, not just from that perspective, but also from the research point of view. You know, the Western research methodology and research protocols are equally so important because there are a lot of possibilities to explore Tibetan medicine. You know, nowadays it's the system of medicine which is widely known all over the world, but still it is not explored completely by the researchers. So I think our younger Tibetan generations can really uh, put the efforts, you know, whatever professional knowledge they have, professional experience they have, they can promote, they can work, and they can do research in the different aspects of Tibetan medicine, because Tibetan medicine means not just the pills or the medicine that we give to the patient. It is a big subject. Tibetan medicine is an art, it is a philosophy, it's a science. So our younger Tibetan generation can see this Tibetan medicine as a complete system of medicine. So you can do research from its philosophical point of view, from its anthropological point of view, cultural point of view, and from scientific point of view. From scientific point of view, you can study as a botanist student, you can study Tibetan medicine plants, you can compare that. And if you are a pharmacist or if you are a biochemist or anything like that, you can do the basic science research. If you are a statistician, you can help Tibetan doctors develop a good clinical research protocol. Or if you are research students, you can be a principal investigator in all kinds of clinical research and help Tibetan doctors develop a good research study and can publish a very good paper. You see, Tibetan medicine has been popular not just among Tibetan people, but in all Himalayan region, and also in various other European countries, especially in Russia and Mongolia, and Bhutan as well. And in India, it is very popular. So therefore, our young Tibetan students or Tibetan graduates living in other countries like in the United States, for example, they have lots of possibilities to explore and look into different topics about the research studies. In the PhD dissertation, they can choose Tibetan medicine from various angles. So there are a lot of possibilities to
Yeah,
work together, Tibetan medicine, but with Western medicine.
this seems like a really actually very exciting time for Tibetan medicine because it's just beginning to sort of come to the West. And I know that there are a lot of young Western scholars that are starting to be interested in it and writing papers. And it would be wonderful to see some young Tibetan scholars and students get involved too. And also Menpa Culture Kusar, I wanted to ask you particularly, you know, in the West, there we have what's called the glass ceiling, you know, where women have, it's been very difficult in historically for women to get involved in professions. It's only in the last, you know, 20 years or so that women have really become, it's been made easier for women to become doctors and lawyers. And I'm wondering, as a Tibetan woman, if you know, how it was for you, you know, becoming a Menpa. What kind of role models did you have and how did you experience your schooling?
Okay. In India, then there were not many Tibetan lady doctors in our Tibetan society, and as well as what this has been changed now. And now we have so many Tibetan women doctors, plus many women medical students in our exile community. One good thing is that women patients feel more comfortable with the women doctors. So therefore, I feel happy to work with many women patients to guide them openly and properly, and they feel more comfortable with the women lady doctors.
And Did you experience any kind of difficulty more being a woman when you were in school, or no?
No, no. We don't have much problem.
And how is it for you? I know that you both work in the clinic together. I think you have children, yes?
Yeah.
And my understanding just now from Menpa Namgyal Qusar is that you only have Wednesdays off. I don't know if you have a different day off. I'm wondering, how is it to balance home life and work life for you?
Manage this quite very comfortably since we have our own family practice, and I can adjust our work and home life as it comes out. And whenever I'm free, I do a gardening and laundry and managing all our home, and also looking after the needs of our children and taking care of the patient as well as. And I don't have a much problem. And our patients are very patiently waiting for, and it's not like a westerner, they're coming on time, and they have to make an appointment like that. But in India, it's more free and
Flexible.
it's flexible, and it's more
Ah.
free, and they can come at any time. Sometimes after 5 also they are coming, as a, like it's so easy for them to comfortable and easy to go and visit the Tibetan doctors.
See, we are village doctor here actually. We live in a village.
Uh-huh.
So often we have local village patients. They come anytime they like. So
No,
sometimes
no
they come so
appointment?
early. Yeah,
No.
definitely we prefer the appointment. But when they come in front of us, then we let them stay for some time, wait for us, and then we see them. And suppose we normally finish at 5 p.m. and after 5 we close our clinic. But if the patients come, let's say around
Incredible.
just in the end of the time, around 5, then we have to spend until 6. So we do that as well. So quite flexible.
I see.
Even the day off also, and when the patient comes to our clinic, we are taking care of them. We said next time Wednesday is closed and don't come, but this time I will take care of you. It's very common here in India and very flexible and
So
no
we
problem.
find this flexibility quite interesting. It's like a art, like creativity. We try to manage ourselves. Try to not to be angry at the patient. Try to be patient. And that gives us strength.
Yeah, this
Whenever somebody comes late, then we try to ask ourselves whether we have to give medicine or not, whether we have to spend time with that or not. Then we decide, okay, we should do it, and then we feel happy after doing that. That's really interesting.
well, that is such a wonderful attitude. I cannot even imagine Western doctors having that attitude, you know.
That's
It seems,
possible. Yeah, that's very possible because if you live in a village, because when we built our clinic here, we built in 1918, 98, and we
yeah,
finished in 2001. At that time, it was just a sort of
Jungle.
in the forest. It was really a village. We were alone over here at the time, and there was no proper road as well. But now we are in the end of the village. It was full, all full. So a lot many new people came to live over here in this place. So we have a lot of village patients and a lot of patients coming from other states and other places as well.
um, Menpa Culture Kusar, did you said that part of why you got involved in Tibetan medicine was because you were interested in plants and flowers and things. And in your practice, does that allow you to, like, do you help with the medicine making, or do you help collect, or do you get your medicine from elsewhere? Or?
I'm doing an all-rounder. I'm taking care of the medicine pharmacy and taking care of quality control, and I'm doing a pharmacy, and I'm taking care of herbs, and I'm managing everything, plus with my housework work, and also in the clinic.
So
So
you
we
you
we make our own medicine. We don't buy from others. So we have a lot of work to
Small
do, but we have also our helpers. Our people. We have also other staff helping us. So and
managing.
she manages every one of them quite perfectly.
Oh, so you're kind of like, you're like a superwoman doing all these things. This is so much
She's
work
really
that you've taken on.
she's a perfectionist.
She's a perfectionist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, that's just amazing. Um, in terms of, I know that you didn't want to spend so much time, but I was just wondering, um, what how you feel about, I have so many other, actually I have so many other questions for you, and I don't think I'm going to have time. Um, but I would like to ask what you think, how you feel about Tibetan medicine coming to the West, and how people, how the young Tibetans can, I know you've talked about them doing research, but is there any other thing that you'd like to add about
Yeah.
the,
See, first of all, our exiled Tibetan total population has been about 180,000 uh, population. So that means not much at all. Nowadays, many of our exiled Tibetans moved to the West, and we have so many Tibetans now living and settled in the United States. So that means our new generation will grow up in Western countries out of our exiled Tibetan community. However, it is very important for our Tibetan people, especially younger generation, really to put more emphasis on their studying Tibetan language, Tibetan culture. And among Tibetan culture, Tibetan medicine is one of the most important culture that has a lot of potential. So therefore, if our young students have, kind of a great interest to study Tibetan culture, I highly encourage them to take some interest in the Tibetan medicine, not just as a medicine, but as a healing system, where it is really helpful in the daily life, as a preventive as well as a curative approaches as well. And also, it's really very good because once you put more effort at studying Tibetan things, especially with Tibetan medicine related things, you can be able to contribute more in future. As you grow up, as you become more mature, and learn a lot of experience in the life, you will definitely feel the importance of Tibetan medicine, because Tibetan medicine is a holistic medicine, and it has a lot of things to offer to the present day problems. Like, for example, like this pandemic nowadays, because of the COVID-19, we are facing problems all over the world, all of us. So, if you have uh, the curiosity to do something with Tibetan medicine, nowadays we have a lot of things to offer, which is still lying there unexplored. We have in Tibetan medicine, hundreds of classical texts where was not touched by the Western scientists and researchers. So we can do a lot of clinical research, we can do lots of literary research, and you can also support Tibetan doctors in performing research, as I told you before. And you can also make different programs to develop and promote Tibetan medicine. And if you're interested in business also, Tibetan medicine has a business potential to empower yourself in all kinds. So I strongly encourage our younger Tibetan students in the West, do study Tibetan medicine and work on it, and help Tibetan doctors in future. Whatever you know from your professional background can support Tibetan medicine.
Thank you. Okay. I really do. There are so many other things that I'd like to ask you about, but I'm wondering if you would be interested in doing this again at some point in the future. So that I wanted to ask you questions about your research. I wanted to ask you more questions about other Amchi in India, and
So
other.
you mean to do another question interview?
I'm wondering well, if you're willing to. I think that
Yeah,
there. Okay.
if it's of use, yes, why not? We can do next time
Okay.
on it.
Okay. And
So this is our family life here. You know, she has to
I,
manage the milk supply of our house.
I see that, and I thank you so much. And Menpa Culture Kusar, I just wondered if you had any, um, you know, advice or words to the young Tibetans who may be watching this that you would like to share with them.
So first of all, the young student, I want to advise them or encourage them to study a Tibetan language, reading and write and spoken, and also they have to study the Tibetan culture and Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, and also I can highly recommend them to learn more Tibetan cultures, and also in the research of Tibetan medicine, and to support more Tibetan, and so that they can learn more from the Tibetan society.
Well, thank you. Thank you both so much. It's been so lovely. And
Yeah.
I hope that we get to do this again because, as I said, I have a lot more questions, and I realize that you have things that you need to do this evening. So and thank you to Atma for making this possible also. So take care, and I look
So
forward to
thank you,
talking.
Anasuya, and see you next time.
Okay.